guys. My name's Kathleen. I work here at the public library, and I have a great story time lineup for you today. It's going to be all about Earth Day. Earth Day is April 22nd, officially, but at the library we're having an Earth Day celebration this Saturday, April 17th, from 10 to 1. You can come down to the library, and outside we're going to have all sorts of fun things for families to do and learn about how you can help protect our Earth and help the Earth function in a better way so we have it forever to live on. Anyhow, we're going to talk about how to reuse things. So when you reuse things, you don't just throw them out, you think of a new way to use them. So like for instance, this chair. Have you seen these silly chairs you can sit in? What would you do once you grow up and you can't fit in this anymore? What could you use that for? Instead of just throwing it in the garbage, because plastic does not break down. It will be in there for a long, long time, just taking up garbage space. But I bet you can think of some ways to reuse that. You could make a bowl. It could be a bowl. It could be something you wash something in. It could be something you put out and plant flowers in. You could put soil and plant flowers. There's a lot of different things you could do with that. So the books I have today talk about ways we can reuse things and fix things to continue using them instead of just throwing them in the garbage and buying a new one. So this first one is called the dumpster diver. Have you ever heard that term? A dumpster diver. A dumpster is a big garbage can. So like when you go to a restaurant or the library, anywhere there's huge, big, it's almost as big as like a small bathroom. They're huge, and they are where people put a large amount of trash in. So at the library, we make a lot of trash. It goes in the big dumpster. And a dumpster diver, he dives in and looks for treasures. Now, it's not a safe thing for kids to do, as you'll find out in this book, but it's kind of fun to think about. This book is written by Janet Wong and illustrated by David Roberts. And let's thank our Junior Library Guild publisher. Thanks for letting me read this. Here we go, dumpster diver. Anyone knows you can dive for treasure in the ocean, but our neighbor, Steve, the electrician, dives for buried treasure right smack here in our back street alley. Once a month during fall and winter and spring, and every week in the summertime, Steve slinks into the basement storage room. 5 minutes later, the dumpster diver comes out. Look at all of his equipment. He's got gloves, he's got a mask, he's even got a snorkel. When Steve is ready to dive, he taps 5 times on my bedroom window. I wave to Steve and knock on Johnny's wall. Johnny hops to his window and shouts upstairs to Lena on the 3rd floor. And the diving team is ready to go. I am hose handler number 1, also known as the nozzler. Lena is hose handler number 2, also known as the snake charmer. And Johnny is the faucetier. So it looks like they have a big hose. I wonder what they're going to do with that big hose. Oh, Steve climbs up the back alley wall and picks a dumpster and dives in. Beetles and roaches and spiders splash out. I never imagined there were so many millions of legs living 200 feet away from me in the dumpster. Diving rule number 1, keep your mouth shut. This is especially important when the roaches start flying. Diving rule number 2, don't blow your hose all over the place. This means we hose handlers have to be careful. When Steve climbs out, we hose down the treasure, and we also hose down Steve. Being a hose handler is no easy job, especially when Steve is shouting, "Rule number 2, rule number 2." That means be careful with your hose. Thursday is trash day, but we do our real work on weekends. Last Saturday, we started with a pair of busted up skis. Busted means broken. Johnny drew, Lena measured, I drilled the holes for the nuts and the bolts, Steve cut with a saw, and soon we had a paraskater. Can you see the skis and what they created? They made kind of like a skateboard, and then that paper umbrella is used as like a sail to blow them along. An old blender can be a lamp. An old lamp becomes a table. An old table plus 2 banged up skateboards plus a ripped crib mattress plus a handheld shower plus 32 screws and a roll of duct tape become anything we want it to be. Look at that crazy thing they made. Yesterday's treasure of the day was an old computer that almost became a flower pot, Johnny's idea, or a fish tank, Lena's idea, or a sculpture, my brilliant idea. But we decided it should be a computer for Zenda on the 5th floor, who practices her typing on a piece of cardboard with the letters written on it. The grouch who lives next door to Steve says Steve is crazy. He's too lazy to work hard to make enough money to buy new stuff at the store, like good people should. She says his apartment is full of junk. Look at her face. You can tell she's kind of grumpy. Steve says junk is good. Look at all the fun stuff he's reused. Can you find something you know? Oh, I see. What a colander, what you drain like your macaroni in, is holding the flower pot. And he even planted the flower and it looks like a tin can. There's that lamp table. The grouch says we kids better watch out or we'll get cut up from the trash. But it was Steve who got cut up on the broken glass and rusted metal when the dumpster trash collapsed under him. Serves you right. What do you expect digging through the trash? Grumpy lady. Look at him down there. Oh, he needs to get fixed. The grouch has a point. Starting today, we are going to stop digging through the trash. Starting today, we are going to knock on every door in our apartment building, collecting our own special dumpster diver useful junk. Look at the stuff they've collected. Starting today, we are going to put our useful junk carefully in the basement storage room, except maybe for this old wagon and the broken rocker, this tennis racket and that popcorn machine, all the stuff we need for a wheelchair for Steve. Look at that wheelchair closely and you can see all the things they use to make it. Look at the grump. That's a silly buck. Don't dive into a dumpster. Don't jump into a trash can. You can ask your parents, though, if they have anything they're going to think about throwing out that you could make something from. Or you can make things from recycled cardboard boxes. That's a really fun thing to do. And you can think of other ways to reuse things, maybe the containers that food come in, those plastic like strawberries. You could save stuff like that and build a building or something. Just have to get creative. Our next book is There Was an Old Woman Who Lived in a Shoe. Look at her shoe. It's like a giant boot she made into a shoe. This is written and illustrated. Means the pictures are by Jane Cabrera. Oh, look at all the shoes she has. Aren't those fun? Okay, let's read this book. Holiday House is our publisher. Thanks for letting me read it. So when I'm reading this, look for all the things she does to reuse items or mend them or fix them, ways that we can help our earth not take so much from our earth. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children and animals too. Bertha, Martha, Sky and Bob, John, Jane, Jack and Jill, Eric, Edith, Esme, Pob, Kai, Rosa, and baby Bill. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, and when the children were hungry, she made them stew with potatoes and coconut and carrots and peas, and she kissed them all lovingly when they said, "More, please." There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. I think you can help me with that part. It seems like it starts out, the sentences start out with that. Why don't you help me with that? There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, and when the car broke down, oh, her car is a shoe car, they rode a canoe. Or maybe it's pronounced new. Look at that animal. They all held tight, sitting side by side, and she kissed them all lovingly at the end of the ride. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, and when her clothes got tatty, that means torn and worn out. She would mend them and make do. What fabulous clothes, such colorful cloth. And she kissed them all lovingly when they showed them off. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, and when the furniture broke, crack, she stuck it with glue and hammered and nailed and screwed here and there, and she kissed them all lovingly from her wobbly chair. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, and some days were just a big hullabaloo. So much noise, what a messy muddle, but all was made better by a big, soft cuddle. Let's go back to that page. Look at everyone doing all sorts of funny things. Look at those kids. Oh, they're playing with cardboard boxes. I hope you'll do that. It's so much fun. We have books at the library about how to use cardboard boxes to make crafts, how to use toilet paper tubes to make crafts. We have books on recycling projects to make crafts. And we have lots of books that talk about how we can help save our earth. So I hope you'll come to our Earth Day celebration Saturday, April 17th from 10 to 1. Feel free to look up on the website Gallatin Valley Earth Day 2021, and you'll see the schedule on the events that are taking place, and I hope to see you there. All right, until next time. Oh, one more thing, we're open. The library is open. You can actually come into the library now. We're open Tuesday through Friday, Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturdays 10 to 2. We're closed Sundays and Mondays. And we'd like you to just come and get your books, maybe spend a little bit of time, like a half hour and in and out, because we're only allowing a certain amount of people in the library so we can have a nice, safe experience. So I hope to see you soon at the library. Take care. Bye-bye.